22:05:17. Hello, Emily. I was just wondering if you'd made any progress with Alicia Godwin. Peter's been sharing more with me in session, but his account is somewhat scattered, and I think some cross-referencing may shed light on what he's telling me. In any event, we should definitely organize a meeting before the first court date, preferably a week in advance to give defense a good time to process it all. Kind regards, Asha. Dr. Asha Nazi, child psychiatrist.
The Godwin Case. May 22nd, 2017. Hi, Asher. Funny you should email me today. 3 hours ago, Alicia spoke to me for the first time since we started therapy. And we definitely need to do a cross-reference because what she said got me worried. Peter and Alicia definitely haven't been in contact, have they? I think she referenced him, but I'm not 100% sure. She said, or more whispered,
"He doesn't like all these questions."
I tried to probe who she meant because that was literally all she said, but she wouldn't give me anything more. I could only conclude that she meant Peter and your counseling, but how would she know his opinion on it? Am I just projecting onto her, do you think, with our personal contact making me presume it was Peter? Anyway, that's all I've got out of her in 4 weeks. Tuesday 13th, good for you to meet up? June, obviously. Thanks, Emily. Dr. Emily Green, lead psychiatrist with the Patton Trust.
23:05:17. Hello, Emily. No, to my knowledge, there's been no contact between the two of them. In fact, Peter has been quite insistent on my confirming Emily's safety. He refused to talk to me until I could show him a picture of her that had been taken since they'd been split up. That is why I requested one from your office a few weeks ago. It stands to reason, I think, if they were somehow colluding, he wouldn't have needed the reassurance. The 13th sounds good. I'll check my schedule and we'll organize a time tomorrow. Best of luck with Alicia. It sounds like I've got the more talkative twin. Kind regards, Asha.
May 23rd, 2017. Morning, Asher. 6 p.m. okay for the meeting? I can travel to you if that's easier. Alicia refusing to come in today, again, so I'm thinking I'll spend that time reviewing the case background. Do you have your IPA of Peter? Thanks, Emily.
23:05:17. Hello, Emily. Finished at 6 p.m. on a weekday, eh? I don't care how many of your hours you're volunteering, that charity gig is spoiling you. I can do after 8 in the afternoon, or maybe a rushed morning meeting before 8 a.m. Or we could fit it in my lunch break. How's 12:30 for you? I'll send the assessment document shortly. Yours overworkedly, Asha. PG Initial Assessment. Confidential. 23:05:17. Hello, Emily. Peter's IPA is attached. Confidential, obviously. Please don't make copies beyond your work email. That'd have to come through formal requests. Regards, Asha. Initial Psychiatric Assessment Report. Name of patient, Peter Godwin. Date of birth, 18/02/2006. Gender, male. Assessor, Dr. Asha Niazi. Date of assessment 27/04/2017. Calls for referral. Peter Godwin. Herein, Peter, the patient, was discovered by police at his own home alongside the deceased bodies of his parents, Andrew Godwin and Melissa Godwin. Peter was covered in blood and in state of significant agitation. Peter's twin sister, Alicia Godwin, herein Alicia, was discovered in a similar state. Neither Peter nor Alicia were able to provide explanation of the events leading up to the deaths of their parents, and the pair were removed to 2 distinct secure locations. Arresting officers speculate Peter may have killed his parents, and both twins have been referred to a psychiatrist for an assessment prior to being charged with murder. At the point of writing, neither have formally confessed or denied guilt. Assessment. The patient expresses continual and severe agitation, including aggressive shouting and movements, though has currently not progressed to acts of physical violence against myself or others. Peter has so far refused to engage with the therapy sessions being offered to him, and his levels of anxiety are significantly increased by my questions of any form, especially those regarding his parents or his sister. In the hour of my initial observation, the only lucid statement that was made by the patient was, "He wasn't there." This was repeated by the patient at least 12 times by my own estimation. Though on discussion, the officers present and his legal representative, Miss K. Wright, it appears as the statement, "he wasn't there," has been continuously used since the patient was first discovered alongside his deceased parents. So far, there is little indication who the he is being referred to is. Initial conclusion. The patient may pose a risk to himself or others, though it is not immediately apparent to me that he is expressing indications of guilt or malevolent intent. Much of Peter's behavior is in line with an individual suffering from severe trauma, which in this instance may have been caused by, or rather been the cause, of the death of the parents. I accept and second the recommendation of the Crown Prosecution that Peter and his sister may be kept apart from another and not be allowed to engage in unobserved contact, both to ensure their own safety and to prevent collusion, intentional or otherwise.
PG Initial Assessment. Confidential. May 23rd, 2017. Asher. Gratefully received. Lunchtime is absolutely fine for the meeting if you think we can compare notes in half an hour. Thanks, Emily. May 26th, 2017. Hello, Asher. I think we need to bring forward our meeting. I finally got Alicia to come back today, and something significant happened. I was asking her if anyone had been in contact with her parents before the police had arrived. I have been attempting to avoid direct reference to their deaths, so focusing on events leading up to it instead. After 47 seconds of silence, I know it was that long because I listened back to the recording several times before writing this. Alicia told me that he wasn't there. I asked who she meant and she didn't reply, but then I specifically asked if she meant Peter. She shook her head. I asked, I'll quote here, "Then who do you mean? Who is he?" After that, she cried for half an hour. Given both Alicia and Peter's statements about an unidentified he, it is my current belief that someone else was involved in the murder of the Godwins. I believe the children may have witnessed it and are now scared to provide any more details. I'm passing these statements on to the police, and I think we both need to work to see if we can get a description of this person out of Alicia and Peter. Emily.
(26:05:17). Hello, Emily. I understand your concern. I definitely think it's a possibility that we must explore, and I utterly back your actions so far, though I'm hesitant to leap to any conclusions just yet. My current theory is that the children may be referring to a fictional or imaginary figure, one that Peter has recently taken to calling the Man. There have been studies regarding the sharing of intense imaginary experiences between twins, which would explain the combined references to this figure, and I wonder if Peter is using the Man as justification, or perhaps as to blame, for his own actions. Just think about the phrase they both use, "he wasn't there." I think it is unlikely that he's referencing to a killer, who most would certainly have been there, and it can't be in reference to Peter himself, or else Peter wouldn't be using a third person. Naturally, this is confidential, but I've attached a recording from one of our recent sessions. The moment of interest begins around 35 minutes and 20 seconds in. I've transcribed it below.
He wasn't there.
Who? The Man?
Yeah.
Then where was he? Peter, where was the Man?
He wasn't there.
Have you ever seen the Man, Peter?
Yeah.
And you saw him somewhere else?
No, I saw him in my house. I saw him not be there.
I'm not so sure I understand. You say you saw him, Peter. Do you see him often?
Yes.
Have you ever seen him here? Have you ever seen him in this room, Peter?
No, he's never been here.
Just like he wasn't at your house?
No, he doesn't come here. He went to my house. I saw him not be there.
What do you mean, Peter?
I saw him not be there.
It seems a bit nonsensical to me, and that's the aspect of the account which makes me believe this man is an imaginary creation. He does not seem to be bound by logic. Let me know if you think I've misheard or misunderstood anything, though. Kind regards, Asha.
May 26th, 2017. Hi, Asher. Good God, that recording gave me chills. Does he always talk like that? From the transcript, I'd imagined confusion or the uncertainty that Alicia speaks with. But he sounds so definite. As if what he's saying makes complete sense. I agree with you, though. I can't pick out anywhere that you've been mistaken in the transcript. Peter saw a man who wasn't there, but he didn't see him not to be somewhere else. It's strange. I think I may play that recording to Alicia if I have permission to do so. It may elicit some more details. Thanks for the file, Emily.
26:05:17. Hello, Emily. Yes, you may certainly play the recording to Alicia. I agree that it could bring her to be more descriptive, or at least ascertain whether the children are discussing the same figure. I'm thinking I'll try to get Peter to draw the man later this week. It may shed more light on the chance of him being fictional, for example if he has wildly impossible features. Perhaps worth trying with Alicia as well? I know the police tried to get a description from both of them closer to the time, but as we know, they weren't in a state to do so last time it was attempted. In any case, best of luck. Asha.
May 29th, 2017. Asher. My own transcript. Give it a listen. I can't really do it justice. Just read this part and listen to the file.
No, he doesn't come here. He went to my house. I saw him not be there. What do you...
Alicia, is there something you want to tell me? It's just that you reacted when Peter said that.
He wasn't there.
Who? Who wasn't there?
In my bedroom.
Pardon? Alicia, did you say someone was in your bedroom?
Yes. He wasn't there.
He wasn't there. He was there or he wasn't?
Yes.
Who? Alicia, who are you talking about? Alicia! Who are...
The man. He wasn't in my bedroom last night. He said he didn't like you.
He said he didn't like you, or he said he didn't like me?
You. He doesn't like questions. He doesn't like you. He didn't like Mommy or Daddy either.
After that, she didn't say a single other thing. Honestly, listen right up to the end of the recording. Not another word for 40 minutes. I've passed this on to the police as well. No one should have been able to get to her room. She's under lock and key. And no reported break-in. So, I suppose this backs up the imaginary friend idea? But God, it's sinister. Emily.
Oh, 01-6-17. Hello, Emily. Sorry, I meant to get back to you sooner, but I've been utterly swamped. Yes, the recording you sent is quite disturbing, but nothing too out of the ordinary. Remember, what seems sinister to adults can be far more innocent in the eyes of a child. I think this discussion of a person in her bedroom, when we know that wasn't the case, is just evidence of this man figure being fictional. Likely it was something she made up as part of a play, a coping mechanism, or a dream. Peter tried drawing the man yesterday, and the reason I didn't go out of my way to send you details of it before was that it lacked any. Just scribbles. Not anything discernible, but when I asked if it was the good likeness of the man, Peter said yes. I asked him to identify features, hair, color, skin color, height, etc. And he just said, and I quote, "Like in the picture, that's the man." I can send you a scan if you like, but it's hardly worth it. Just scribbles around the edge of the page. Kind regards, Asha.
June 2nd, 2017. Hi, Asher. Sorry if I was a bit worked up before, it was quite unprofessional of me. You're right, obviously. It's silliness. Make-believe. Alicia's already gone home today. I got more talk of the man not being there, but nothing as significant as the previous recording. But I'll try getting her to draw him next week. Thank you for the rational approach. I needed reminding of it. Too many horror films or something, I suppose. Talk to you soon. Emily.
(020617). Hello, Emily. No problem at all. Don't be too hard on yourself. You're dealing with traumatized children, possibly ones capable of acts we condition ourselves to believe only committed by the evil or the insane. It can be a shock to the system. I struggled when I first got into it. Have a good weekend, try to relax. Kind regards, Asha.
June 5th, 2017. Hi, Asher. I've attached the drawing that Alicia made of the man, or rather, the drawing she didn't make of him. It's bizarre. She spent so long on it, so much care with the strokes of her pencil. I thought she was creating a masterpiece. But all she did was color in the page black, with a sort of silhouette left in the middle. No details, just blank space. Not even a face. I asked her where the details were, and she said, "That's what he's like." So I asked her why she didn't just do an outline, or just color in the person shape in black. She said, "Because he's not there." I'm definitely in your corner with the man being some odd bit of imagination now. So what's your conclusion? Do you really think Peter could have done it? Is that what this leaves us with? Do you think he's capable of it? Emily.
(060617). Hello, Emily. That caught me by surprise. Alicia's picture is actually startlingly similar to Peter's original. I didn't quite see the silhouette before because Peter's scribbles are a bit wider and rougher, but it's definitely there. That gap in the middle is in the shape of a man. They seem fixated on this idea of him being, from what I can tell, invisible. Peter has since made a second image for me, his own choice. This one like the other two, but as you can see, the scribbles are a bit angrier, much harsher. He actually ripped through the paper at several points. The silhouette is largely unchanged, except for the arms are raised. I asked Peter why he drew this one differently. He said, because he's angry now. Both drawings attached. Kind regards, Asha.
June 7th, 2017. Hi, Asher. That is really bizarre. Alicia did exactly the same. And I think she referenced you? Not entirely sure. I don't know how she'd know of you, though she probably just presumed that Peter had a psychiatrist since she has one. Here's the transcript.
How are you feeling, Alicia? Why? You seem upset. Are you upset? No. You've ruined your drawing. That's what he was like last night. The man? Did you see him? Was he there? No. What happened last night? He's angry with Peter's new friend. Who's Peter's new friend? Your friend. The one Peter's been talking to. Do you mean the man doesn't like questions? The man's not happy. Why doesn't the man... He wasn't there before. He won't be there now. He won't be at your friend's house tonight. I see. How does that make you feel, Alicia? Glad. Why glad? Because I don't like it when he isn't there in my room. And now I won't see him until he's finished. Finished with what? Alicia? Alicia, until he's finished with what? Alicia!
Full audio attached. Any progress with Peter? Emily. June 8th, 2017. Hi, Asher. Did you get my last email? Apologies if you're swamped. Just wondering if we're still on for the meeting next week. Tuesday 13th, about 12:30? Thanks. Emily. Everything all right? June 9th, 2017. Hi, Asher. Is everything okay with you? I called your office. They said you've not been in for a few days. We can reschedule the Tuesday meeting, no problem. Let me know if there's anything else I can do. Best wishes. Emily. Please reply. June 12th, 2017. Asher. Alicia refused to come in today. The officer stationed at her room says she doesn't want to meet the man. She said he wouldn't be here. He wouldn't be in my room. Seriously, Asher, please reply. Please?